Cool, let's start recording. Welcome back. Another day of streaming. Subscribe, comment, drop a like if you haven't. Today, we got a lot of friends here from Simon's channel. Check out Midnight Simon, who's a much far better lead coder and algorithm person than I am. Also a binary search streamer. And today, it's our Flutter day. After doing some tutorials to expand and shrink the logo. Then let's do the internationalizing Flutter apps. Not sure what that means. Probably languages. Probably. How to track? Oh, the location. Use the location to track a language. Manage local specific app values. Oh, like weather maybe, or like inch versus centimeters kind of units. Locals app support. Run app array that makes possible localized values like text and layouts. Okay. Right, Chinese characters are far different from letters, Romantic letters. Covers concept of flow necessary to localize the Flutter. Applications reading using lower level widgets. Let's look at the example. Nani? Dart. And let's see what it called. It didn't call any special things. Okay, less values. Hello world, I want to. By the way, I must speak Spanish, so if there are any Spanish speaking person now, feel free to engage with your mother tongue. When I'm out here, of course. I will try. I'll put in Google Translate. I've seen Korean and Chinese and Spanish here. There's localized values, which is a private property, it seems. Search. Okay, and then it gets a title based on the this variable. But how though? Dot keys, dot to list. Not too useful. Localization package. Okay, so what we saw seems to be a built-in library. Let's do a new answer what Flutter is. Like, I think it's more platform than a language. I don't know, is it trying to simulate or like use these languages? I don't know if the language I'm writing is Dart or Kotlin or whatever. Maybe standard stuff. Changing to YAML, it's kind of like a library function. Pubsec spec. The software development kit or something. Or just like telling it what to include in the build. Wait, how the fuck did I run this? Run pub-get packages, import the library. Let's see where we run this terminal. Go get the packages. No. Let's skip this step and see if it becomes a problem later. The main import. Oh, it's gonna prompt me to do it. Interesting. Upgrade dependency. Running this. Okay, yeah, it prompted me. This is a useful trick. We ran it in this path. Okay, now it's good. This is unused now. Yep. Cool. Power of IDE. Dude, you guys should check out maybe this CS61C from using Buckley. There's no IDE. Straight up assembly. So interesting. What does this do? Let's just return a material app object, which is basically the home page with the title of this. I don't know what this delegates mean, but it supports English and Spanish. I don't know where to put it. Maybe here. No. Flutter localization package containing the code above. Material and Cupertino packages should now be correctly localized. 178 supported Localize. This is building on something. Code looks familiar. Copy and paste, let's go. There's material app. Okay. Somehow in the status widget, which is a build, so I know where to put it, kind of. Let's see if we can put it in here, maybe. What's in my homepage? What's here? Title. Yellow string. Oh no. Huh? What? Why did it need to be constant? Oh no, let's see. Oh, shit. Is it running? Yes. Yeah, something about Flutter is that they, just in case when you can't figure out, they sometimes provide the sample code in the tutorial, so you can get that on track. Let's see if I can switch it and see what happens. While we're waiting, anyone did anything fun over the weekend? What do you think? Not impressive, but like it's like carving a monument in your memory, kind of rememberable stuff. Project with the K. Thanks for following. Daily study, daily improvement. Compounding the effect, you'll be Warren Buffett. But that kind of rhymes pretty well. The second part is new. You know, it's like someone did a very good thought experiment. So if you improve yourself every day after 360 after a year, you'd be like 37% better if you're 1% better every day. But if you don't try hard for a year, and like get worse and worse, you become like 2%, 2 or 3% what you normally were. This math is crazy. It's kind of like my guiding principle almost. Okay, oh fuck, I run this but nothing. And how do I switch locally? How though? Actually, I'm gonna use this code. This is a hot reload. I don't know what it's gonna give me. Speaking of compounding effect, there's also some of those scams on the internet, like you can earn 20% every week, and it's BS. Totally BS. Don't trust that. So if you can do it, let's say you're $100. Let's say you start with $100, and then times 1. Well, say 1.2, 20% every week. There are 50 weeks in the year, approximately. You get 9,100 your net worth times your net worth. Not a fucking chance. What that means is that you just need to have $10 to start with, and you buy that program, and you could become a 6-figure job instantly. versus someone who did the education and do everything. And imagine if you are a 6-figure job, then you'll become top 0.1% instantly. Total BS. Don't trust them. Don't get scammed. Oh, how did I switch locally? Does it tell me? No buttons. Kind of hard program Spanish here, I think. Where should I change the language? So language is when it's called when it uses this, you try to access the language, but I don't see another instance of it. Not that. Let's see if I can do this. Yep. This is just a double dictionary, I think. Calls in here. One dictionary, second dictionary. Yep. If I change my whole computer to somewhere in a Spanish-speaking country in my work. this localization delegates. Once further actions added, use the what does this mean? The international package. January tag. Wait, there's no January. What? Okay, here. To the YAML root directory. And edit it. It's using an arbitrary directory, but that is not the same as the YAML directory. Oh, never mind, it is. Never mind, it is. I know it's not. Where did I add it? Okay, it's not there. Okay, I checked. Generating something based on the template and then put in here. Okay, not useful at all. Jesus. this is an English app. It's a Spanish app. What? Young people, weird. Data, Flutter. A app and ARB. ARB. Okay. Run the app. The code gen runs. Wait till it gets it first. Run it. It should generate something. Start to Flutter gen. Doesn't happen. Sometimes these tutorials are pretty weird. Or is that in the second? That is in the second code. Before we use this code, let's understand the original code first. Creates a demo localization class Locally is, I guess, the device location. I guess it kind of checks that the language is actually supported within the 78 languages that it does. And then what does it do? Nothing fancy. Jesus. Just run it and code gen takes place. Can't run the app when there's an error like that. What? See generated files. I don't. Now should I make a folder for this? And shove this stuff in there. See if that helps. Does that help? No, it doesn't. Thanks for following. Riley ZZZZ. Daily studying. Daily improvement. Study every day. Improve every day. As you can probably tell, we are kind of struggling and getting kind of annoyed by this tutorial. Because because the instruction is just so unclear. The template file. I did. I do not see a Dart tool though. There's nothing here. That's so GG. Yeah, well, let's take a look at see if there are videos on this. I've been missing quite a lot of stuff. It's like car, Flutter, International. Kind of interesting. When you just switch language on your phone, does that change your locally? Or it doesn't? Oh, there seems to be. Still. It's 21 minutes. Let's turn off music momentarily. The calculator showing the countdown effect.
My name is Isaac Briones. I'm 18 years old.
My name is not Isaac Briones.
Hey guys, my name is Tensor. Welcome to another Flutter tutorial video. In today's tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at internationalization in Flutter. Some of you may be aware that I have made a tutorial on this topic in the past. However, one of the principal complaints that I've noticed with regards to that video is that some people seem to think that the int-l process is a little bit more complicated than it actually is. Also, since I made that video, there are quite a few new plugins and libraries and stuff. They really streamline the process. And the main one that I'm going to show you today is actually an extension that you can install in Visual Studio Code, IntelliJ, or Android Studio. And I'll leave a link for this extension in the description of this video.
Okay, I think we use the same library.
The basic Flutter counter app that gets generated when you make a new Flutter application. And the main reason for this is to allow the logic of the application to kind of take a backseat to the int-l logic. We want to set up our application.
See how this reach locally and this code jam business. Also, why is this? I'm not gonna watch 480p. Are you kidding me? There we go, much better.
For int-l, and we can do this by going and opening up the command palette, and you can do this by hitting Control-Shift-P and typing in flutter int-l initialize. This initialize command will generate a couple of folders, and it will add some dependencies and the plugin to our pubspec YAML. As you can see, we now have this generated folder and this l10n folder. If we go into our pubspec YAML and we go all the way to the bottom, we have this flutter underscore int-l key, and it has been enabled. We do still need to manually add the Flutter Localizations dependency, so let's go ahead and do that. So just Flutter Localizations, and then we're pointing it at the Flutter SDK. All right, so let's take a look at what's inside of our folders. If we go into L10N, we see that we have this.
I don't think we did that actually. PubSpec. Never mind, we did it.
en.arb file, and it's empty. This is where we're going to put the strings that we want to use in our application, and there's a bit of templating logic that we can use to call to certain functions in int-l, and I'll show you all of that. Inside of the generated folder, we've got a file called l10n.dart, and in here we've got a class this wraps around our application localization delegate, which we'll use to essentially add the localization data to our widget tree. And then we've also got this generated code. So this is code for selecting the English localization. And then if we add more locales, it will add more cases as well. And it initializes messages and does a bunch of other stuff. And then we specifically have a file for English, which has the appropriate functions and stuff inside of it. And this code here gets generated based on what's in our ARB files. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I mentioned this in the last tutorial, but the ARB files stand for Application Resource Bundle, and they're also used in the Google Translation Toolkit. All right, let's go ahead and add a few more locales to our project. And we can do this again by invoking the command palette and typing in flutter int_l add locale. First, I want to add French from France. This is just fr_fr. And then I'll add Japanese from Japan, which is just jp_jp. We automatically get our ARB files for these associated locales.
Oh, can I do that? Don't see the option.
And then, of course, the generated Dart files. Now, one thing I should mention is if you're on iOS, you do need to add a key to your info.p list. So the key is just cf bundle localizations, and then you just need to add an array of all of the different localizations that you're using in your application. So in this case, we have English, then French from France, and then Japanese from Japan. Now let's go into our main.dart file and let's import the Flutter localizations library, and then import the L10N file from our generated folder. So the text that we want to localize in this application is the title of the application, then the title in our My Homepage stateful widget, and then the text for the counter. And for this counter, what I'm going to do is combine the counter itself with the text rather than have them show up as two separate widgets. That way we can show off the plural features of int_l. So we could combine the two like this, where it just says you have pushed the button this many times. And of course, this is always going to say times, even if our counter value is, say, 0 or 1. But we can use int_l to make it so that the string that we produce here changes based off of the counter value itself. Let's go ahead and set up our material app for our localization. So we need to specify the localization delegates inside of the material app widget. Our custom delegate that was generated by the plugin is called S. So we just say s.delegate to put it in here. And then we're going to bring in the global material localizations delegate, which will localize our material widgets, and then the global widgets localizations delegate, which will localize any other non-specific widgets. There's also a Cupertino-based localization delegate that we could put in, but because we have no Cupertino widgets in our application, we'll just leave it out like this. We then want to add the supported locales to the material app widget, and we can do this by calling to our custom class and then calling to the delegate and then getting the list, which is just a list of locales. And you can see here that it's just a list of locales with each of our locales in it. So we have English, which is non-specific to any country, and then we have French from France, and then we have Japanese from Japan. Now let's start to add our string values into our ARB files. So first we'll start with the app title, and we'll just call this application the counter app. Next we want to add the page title. The page title is just the title for the homepage. We'll just say counter app-homepage. And then finally, we want to add our counter text string. And this string is going to be a little bit different than the other two because we want it to be dynamic based on the value of the counter itself. All right, so to set this up, we want to use curly brackets. Then we want to put in the value that we want this to be dependent on. So I'm going to call that value the counter. Then we want to put in the type for this particular string. So the string is going to change based on whether or not it's plural. Then we can put in the cases for the plural function. So we've got cases for when the counter is 0, when the counter is 1, and when the counter is any other value. When our counter is 0, we'll just have it print out that you have never pushed this button. Then when our counter is 1, we'll print out that you have pushed this button 1 time. Now notice I've hard-coded the 1 in here. You could put in the counter variable if you wanted to, but it's not really going to make a difference because it will be equal to 1 regardless. Then finally for the other case, we'll have it print out that you have pushed this button counter times, with the counter being the variable that this entire string is dependent upon. All right, now, once we save that ARB file, if we go into the messages_en.dart file, you can see that there's now a lot of logic that has just been automatically generated in here. So we've got logic for our app title, and we've got logic for the page title, and both of these are basically hard-coded in here. And then we've got the logic for our counter text, which calls out to a static function. It takes in the counter, and then it calls int_l plural with the counter in it, and then it has all the cases, 0, 1, and then other. All right, so now let's fill out the French and the Japanese fields. And I've just gone ahead and used Google Translate to get some fairly accurate translations. So for the French, it's going to be very similar to the English in the sense that we've got 3 different cases for the counter. And then for the Japanese, we'll only have 2 different cases because there's no difference between the one case and the other case. And of course, like with our English, when we save the ARB files, the logic gets generated in these message files. Now let's go into our main.dart file and start modifying the application with our new fields. fields. Inside of our material app widget, we need
Add
to change the
languages to
title
the
field
app.
to an onGenerate
But
title
the
field,
tutorial
which takes in the
sucks,
builder
so I'm
function
here
with the
to
build
watch
context, and we
videos.
can use that build context to call to our S object and then get the app title. And notice, of course, that the S object kind of works like a inherited widget. So we call to the inherited widget using an of method with the build context, and then that allows us to get to the app title string. Now, the reason why we want to generate the title this way rather than using a static title is because the app delegate information, that is all of the stuff inside of our S class and all the stuff inside of these delegates, isn't added to the build context until after the material app is put on the widget tree. And this specific field here, onGenerateTitle, allows us to get access to the build context with the localization delegates inside of it. So when we call to this, it won't come back as null. Instead, it will already have the localization delegates set up, and then we'll be able to use it. Now, the same issue will happen with our My Homepage title if we initialize the title inside of this build function. So instead, what we'll do is we'll remove the title from here, and then we'll initialize it down in our My Homepage app. So now down here in the build function for the state object of this My Homepage app, we can go ahead and call s.ofContext, set that into a variable called delegate, and then just put the page title into the text of the app bar. We can also use that same delegate variable to call to our counterText function and pass in the counter value so that it will properly change according to the counter value. Now, the final thing that I want to do is add a button bar after our counterText so that we can dynamically change the locale of our application. So the button bar will have 3 buttons in it. Each one will be a material button, and each one will change the
I didn't do
locale of our
that.
S object. So
I
we can go
didn't do
ahead and just
that.
call s.load, pass in a locale, and then call setState to have it change.
That's what I was
And we
looking
can do
for.
this for English, US, French, France, and then Japanese, Japan. All right, so now let's open up our application, and you can see here that we've got everything in English, and we can go ahead and click one of these buttons to then change it to French. And you can see that the app title up here has changed, and the countertext text has also changed. And then we can change everything to Japanese, and you can see that that indeed works as well. And as we click this button, the actual text in here changes based off of the number of times that the button has been pushed. So when we've never pushed the button, it just says you've never pushed this button, and in French it has this little saying, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, by the way, and then in Japanese it has this little line. And then if we push it once, you can see that the Japanese changes, and the French also changes, and the English also changes, and notice that time is
healthy.
and then when we push it a second time, time becomes times, and then in French we also have a change, and in Japanese there's no difference between 1 and 2. Now before we finish this tutorial, I want to show you guys how you can set up a gender value and then a more generic select value. All right, so let's take a look at how we can set up a string based off of gender. So here we've got a gender value, and again, we're going to open up some curly brackets. We'll put in the gender, and then we're going to say select, and then we have our 3 cases, female, male, and other. The only case here that is required is the other case, and this is, of course, also true for the plural cases. So if we don't want female and male, we could just put in the other case. In this case, we'll put in female and male. And we can see inside of our messages_en file, we now have a
Does it
function
parse
that calls
those
gender,
and interpret those female and male
has
stuff?
cases for female, male, and other. We can also do a more generic select string. So say we want to select a string based on the role of the user, say they like login, and we want to tell the user whether or not they're a member or an admin or whether or not they need to sign in. We could have a value here and just use the select function. So we're going to select based off of the role, and then we have our cases, and the cases here are completely custom. So here I've made a case called member, and it says you're a member, and then I have a case called admin, which says you are an admin, and then I have our other case. And as we saw with our plural and gender functions, we now have a new function for initl select, which selects off of role, and then it passes in a map with the cases that we just created. So member, admin, and other. All right, guys. Well, I hope this cleared things up and kind of showed you how int_l is much more streamlined. If you like this tutorial, feel free to subscribe and like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the
He's telling me to run something to get the file set up first. Wait, the one that contains pubsec is this one. Anyway. Oh. But we tried, you can run this here though. Flutter, or can we? I didn't type Flutter. Hold on. So again. One of this would generate files maybe? And then run this. Really? I don't think I need the Flutter the Intel translation thing. I think it's just Intel. Is this how you change localate? No, that's just text, right? Oh boy. I think that's as updated as you can get, right? Maybe this. working. No, it's not. What? Huh? I don't know, man. Get international chance vision. Does this exist? Oh, doesn't work. G. I'm gonna just repeat the same thing, see if it helps. Oh no, wait. This one's weird. I'm gonna stop today and then probably dig deeper again the next time. Or do extra research to see if we can do it. Or maybe find different tutorials. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked the stream today. We got more friends. Even though we struggle a little bit, it happens. We learn new stuff. It's not gonna be easy. Cool. Take care. Thanks for joining.